every time I'm broadcasting on AfricaNet, I tell you that we are the ambassadors of Kenya. Those ones of us who are abroad, we have to keep selling this Kenyan brand. What is it about Kenya are we going to talk about? What is it that is so great about Kenya? And we can't have a special person to talk to us, but rather than Mary Kimonye, who is the CEO for Brand Kenya. So Mary Kimonye, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Janet.
So tell us, what is Brand Kenya?
Thank you. Before I tell you what is Brand Kenya, let me first tell you how impressed we are as Kenyans by those of you who are here and who are carrying the name of our country high in the UK. So for you and your team, I would like to say thank you very much for being good ambassadors of Brand Kenya. Now, coming back to Brand Kenya is first, the organization itself is a government parastatal, and we were set up to find a way of employing a coordinated mechanism for marketing Kenya, basically dealing with Kenya's reputation and image abroad. And why our government would like to do that is because of the recognition that when a country has a good name, it becomes easy to trade with that country. It becomes easy for tourists to come. And I was so impressed by the tourists who has just come to Kenya and were saying such wonderful things about our country. So ours as Brand Kenya is to improve Kenya's reputation so that we can attract investment, we can attract foreign direct investment, we can attract tourists, we can attract corporate headquarters, and also we can attract talent into our country. The other aspect of branding the nation is about building the character of the people. Because you're saying a great nation is made up of its citizens. And if the citizens of Kenya have a good character, they have good attitudes towards themselves, they have a good attitude towards their country. And this is a reputation that gets picked up by media, both local and international. And over time, you come to be known as a country of great people. I know Kenya is already known for great runners. It is known for tourism products, a lot of wildlife. It's also known for beautiful culture. It's known for warm-hearted and hospitable people. Now, we want to be known also as a people who can be trusted when it comes to delivering services to our friends, when it comes to dealing with the public service, that the reputation that is there with our runners can be replicated by every single Kenyan when you contact them and when you deal with them.
For us Kenyans who are abroad, sometimes we lose touch with the country. And for us to be able to sell Kenya properly, we need to be in touch with what's happening. So what way is Brand Kenya thinking of interacting with the diaspora to make sure that this information or what you want to brand is correctly, the information is correctly transferred to the diaspora? What is your plan?
Yes, the government on the bigger scale has recognized the role of the diaspora in marketing Kenya. And that is why under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there's a policy document that is being developed on how to engage the diaspora constructively. But on the part of Brand Kenya, we have also identified diaspora engagement as one of our key functions. And that is why we were here in June and we met a group of diaspora people and we agreed for us to be able to engage you constructively, you need to organize yourself into institutions. And that is how you launch COBA. So ours is to do three things. First is to send you as much information as possible about the country. Number two, we would like to have joint events like this one with the diaspora. We recognize that you know UK and you know other countries that you're living in much better than we know them. And because of that, we would like you to take the lead when we come to these countries so that you can help us contact the business people, you can help us contact the tourists, you can help us contact possible investors. So organizing joint events in the countries that where you reside. Three is organizing joint events back home, because we would like the diaspora to be a vehicle for transfer of skills and knowledge back home. And we are hoping next year we'll have a big youth conference where we'll have the diaspora youth come over back home and speak to other youth so that we can share knowledge and experiences. So that is the three ways in which Brand Kenya would like to engage the diaspora.
Fantastic. I mean, because I can see a lot of branding here. Can you name a few products or services that you can just say that's Kenyan?
Yes, there are so many products and services really that Kenyan. Let me start with M-Pesa. M-Pesa is truly Kenyan. That is the fastest money transfer, mobile money transfer business in the world. Then we have our coffee, our tea, and we have our flowers. I don't know whether you are aware, Janet, that Kenya holds a third of the flower exports in the world. Roses specifically, that for every 3 roses sold in the world, 1 is Kenyan. But unfortunately, when we have these products in the supermarkets, they lose that originality, so people do not know. So we would like to give that Kenyanness to these products. Now, over and above that, we have the culture of the Kenyan. I know for a long time, Kenyans have had, people abroad have heard so much about the iconic Maasai. Now, I want to tell you that besides the iconic Maasai, we have another whole 42 tribes who are iconic, because each of them has a rich culture. And you can see we brought some of the artifacts. You can see Kenya fashion displayed in our stand. So we have those as some of our key products. Yeah.
So basically it's about the people of Kenya. Branding Kenya is the people of Kenya. Well, we have talked about us, who are Kenyans, we've come the first generation, but we've got the third generation of Kenyans in the UK, in America. How are we going to access to this group?
That's a very good question. And the last time we were here, that issue did come up, that we are going through almost towards the end of a generation that was born in Kenya and resides here. And now we have a second generation of Kenyans who have been born to you people here in the UK, but who do not know about home. That is why we would like to work on some twinning programs. And I know we already discussed that, and when we go to Bedford in the week, we'll be discussing that. Can we have twinning programs between the UK diaspora youth and the Kenya diaspora youth? That is why I mentioned the issue of the youth conference, so that these people can get to interact and learn from each other. We also would like to develop children-specific materials on Brand Kenya, so that your children who have been born in the UK can start learning about their motherland. They come from a great heritage, but they do not know. Because most of the things that they know are things that they have picked up in the media, in the TV. And often we know the media content isn't the most positive, because media has to sell. So the work of the media is not to promote a country. The work of the media is to promote their company and to make the bottom line. So we are looking for innovative ways to talk to this youth other than through the media. That is why the issue of the DVDs that we are developing, the music that Kenyans are developing, the drama that Kenyans are developing is so good. And I would encourage you to even buy the simple ones like Bitimbi, all these national dramas that we do back home, so that the children can start to familiarize themselves with where they come from.
Fantastic. Yeah. But then obviously, as we keep saying all the time, the challenges that faces each and every phase you're trying to run. And this Brand Kenya is going to face challenges. Can you maybe pinpoint the challenges that you're facing already in branding Kenya? Okay, challenges are there.
And I pointed earlier the issue of the media content. As a government and as an institution, we have no control of what the media write. And often we find that the media writes things that misrepresent our country. And all we are asking, we are not asking the media to stop writing. We are saying continue writing, continue raising issues so that we can pay attention to them, but also tell the other side of the story, because there is a positive and a negative in everything. So we are saying also pick the good things about the country and also tell people about this. So we are only asking for balanced writing, balanced reporting. Whether we'll get that or not, I do not know. But the other challenge is just the challenge that over a long period of time, we had not paid attention to the issue of the country image and the country reputation. So we are having to start very far. And that's why our programs are starting with the attitude of the citizens. Because in a country, people can think that the work should be left to government. But you can't leave everything to government. So we are saying the image of Kenya and the reputation of Kenya is in the hands of every single citizen. To get that message across is not the easiest, because people think government should, government should, government should. And we are telling them, no, you must take the destiny of your country in your hands and do whatever you can as an individual, knowing that whatever you say, whatever you do, builds or breaks your country. So that's a big challenge.
Thank you. Well, for us, African Act in the UK, we've been positive media. That's why we are not millionaires.
Great.
But
Yeah.
because of that positive media, we would like to encourage more positive content. And I'm glad you were talking about Vitimbi and all that. But access to this program have become very, very difficult. So Brand Kenya could play a part in making sure that we access this program. People in the UK are hungry to watch something from Kenya. Because we keep watching Nigerian movies, we keep watching Ghanaians, comedies, but we do have our own Kenyan programs that people in the UK, people in America can access. How can Brand Kenya help to acquire such kind of programming from the local level?
That's a good question, and we are lucky in the sense that Brand Kenya is housed in the Ministry of Information and Communication. That's exactly the ministry which is charged with issues of content, issues of licensing and etc. And what I can promise you is that we will do the right connections to ensure that you get this content. Because I am surprised that the content is not accessible yet back home. The people developing the content are still coming to my office saying, how do we distribute this content? So what I see is probably a lack of information and a lack of networking and connections, and that is our role. We'll do the connections that we need so that we can connect the diaspora and the local people at home, and we can bridge that information gap. So that would be a promise that Brand Kenya is making to the people in the diaspora. We'll avail the content. Today when we came here, we have DVDs from a few people. We even called the people in the arts. That's why you can see Kenya fashion there. And these are independent people. And they said, can you go display our material there, see whether you can elicit some interest. So that is work of Brand Kenya, to find ways of getting what is in Kenya out. And I can promise you that we'll do that.
Fantastic. Finally, what message would you like to give to Kenyans out there about, not on a personal note, but on a branding note?
Yes.
It's your time to give a message to Kenyans.
Yes, what I'd like to tell Kenyans in the diaspora that there's a lot going on in Kenya. The government of Kenya has taken very concise steps to improve the country, from building the infrastructure, setting this board which is working on our national identity, our national image, issues of patriotism, pride and confidence in our nation. And we are calling you to action that you be good ambassadors for Kenya. Tell people what you know about the country, and if there's any information that you require, that you need, call us in Brand Kenya and we'll avail you this information. But on a very positive note, we want to express our gratitude for even being here with you, and the interactions that we've had with the diaspora, they've been very fruitful, and we are happy that the diaspora is switched on to become good ambassadors for Kenya. Again, as I finish, that is a policy that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has, using the diaspora as brand ambassadors for the country. So if you prepare yourself, that is something you can do for us. Thank you.
Viewers, you just had that. Mary Kimonye, CEO, Brand Kenya, telling you that it is your responsibility to tell people about how good our country is. Not just telling, because even the way you portray yourself can actually tell where you're from. Many people say I'm very soft-spoken, right? Me, soft, but because I'm Kenyan, something about me should tell people there's something different about me. And wherever you work, whenever you go, make sure that you keep talking about your country, because it is those interests, it is those interactions, face-to-face interaction, that tells people that the people of Kenya are friendly, that Kenya is a place to go and visit, Kenya is a place to go and invest, Kenya is a place that you can get beautiful materials. So we can all get to do that. So we don't leave it to Mary Kimonye and Brand Kenya to do the selling out of Kenya. No, it is us, Kenyans, in the diaspora, or even in Kenya, to talk about how good Kenya is. Thank you very much for watching this interview. If you've got anything you would like to say, you can go to the website, Brand Kenya website or African Act website. Tell us, what do you think, or how do you think we can brand Kenya perfectly, especially here in the UK? We are waiting for those emails. Thank you very much.